Gratitude, Aqidah Akhlaq, 3rd grade. Seeing the meaning of language, the origin of gratitude is the word shakara, which means to thank. Gratitude means the recognition of favors that have been given by God. Of course, confession here is not just confession, but also accompanied by an attitude of obedience to God. There are also those who define gratitude by praising while mentioning His kindness. This definition of gratitude is not wrong, but only focuses on gratitude in speech alone. In fact, the hard thing is not gratitude on the tongue or words, but gratitude which is manifested in daily behavior. In addition, there are actually many definitions of gratitude that are expressed. However, not all of the definitions can be include the meaning of gratitude as a whole. There is a definition that says thanksgiving is knowing the favor of Allah with humility and solemnity. This definition is based on verbal gratitude accompanied by the work of heart, but does not include attitude. Therefore, without intending to blame the existing definition, it needs to be emphasized that gratitude is not enough by word of mouth as well as about the work of the heart. More than that, gratitude also has a form in daily actions and attitudes. Kinds of gratitude. The first, syukur bi al-lisan, means being grateful with verbal or spoken words. The form is to show gratitude itself, either with words that indicate happiness or in the form of speech tahmid. Tahmid is a thanksgiving which is commonly spoken. Second, syukur bi al-qalbi. This kind of gratitude is grateful with the heart. The emphasis is intentional goodness earlier. The reason? Because this is the true form of gratitude. We can look around. People who hold a thanksgiving even are identical giving kindness to others. They may give alms, food, or may give alms in other forms. Third, syukur bi al-jawari. This kind of gratitude is thankful in the form of attitude. That is, someone makes the blessings that have been given by Allah with a way to increase the sense of obedience in Him. With that favor too, he begged for help from Allah and further guarded himself from worshipping God. For the example, you are given unexpected fortune. With that risky, you buy a motorbike to make it easier for you to go to the mosque in congregation. Critical thinking. Examine about gratitude. Syukur, which consists of the words shin, kaf, and ra. In language, this word means to open, reveal, and show. The meanings contain: the first is praise because of the good that someone gets. Second, syukur also means full or thick. Thus, the two meanings are correlative with the attitude of humans who are happy and satisfied with the blessings of Allah. Then, it is illustrated that whoever feels satisfied with the small gain after trying to the maximum will get a lot of blessings, remembering that Allah's reward is not always in the visible material form. The form of implementation of gratitude is first, verbal gratitude, namely by increasing the number of hamdalah sayings, as well as thayyibah sentences that show an attitude of glorification and praise to Allah. Second, gratitude with the heart, namely by always remembering the substance giver of favors. Third, gratitude with deeds, that is by submitting and obeying Allah, the giving substance. Collaborative. Conclude about gratitude. Gratitude is closely related to happiness. This means that the more grateful we are for this life, the more happy we feel. That's because gratitude can help a person feel more positive emotions, enjoy good experiences, improve health, face difficulties, and build strong relationships. We can express gratitude in many ways. Be grateful for the past by remembering how happy your childhood was. Be grateful for what is happening now, because today your work is going the way you want. Also, be grateful for the future by staying optimistic about something that happens to a servant, whatever it takes, should be grateful because the enjoyment of trials and calamities is a characteristic of Rahman of Allah. Communicative. Discuss with other groups and present the result of your answer from the collaborative questions. Creative. How can we always be grateful people? Be open-hearted and don't complain. Always remember the blessings that Allah gives us every time. Always giving to people who are in need, even though life is lacking. Keep in mind that this life is not eternal, so that we are always grateful for the life we have lived. Do not often compare yourself with others. Asma'ul Husna, Aqidah Akhlaq 3rd grade. Asma'ul Husna are good names of Allah. Asma'ul Husna is one of tools for prayer. Asma'ul Husna are the names of Allah which are commanded to be read in prayer. The purpose of reading Asma'ul Husna is being closer to Allah. Allah said in Al-Quran, Surah Al-Hashr, verse 24, He is Allah, the Creator, the Originator, the Fashioner. To Him belongs the most beautiful names. Whatever is in heavens and on earth, both declare His praises and glory, and He is the exalted in the might and the wise. The special of Asma'ul Husna. They are effective and efficient prayer because easy to read, short, light, but complete, comprehensive, involving world and hereafter affairs, also a guarantee of heaven. So, why must we read Asma'ul Husna every time? Because by reading Asma'ul Husna, we will get the benefits and blessing. We will always get the goodness and protection of Allah, and by understanding them, also strengthen the servant's faith. There are two Asma'ul Husna that we will discuss in this section. It is Al-Wahhab and the second is Ar-Razak. Among His most beautiful names, to know how to deal with various problems and seek fortune, those are names Al-Wahhab and Ar-Razak. Al-Wahhab means Allah is the giver of all things. Ar-Razak means Allah is the giver of rizki or treasure. Now let's discuss about Al-Wahhab. Al-Wahhab is the 16th Asma'ul Husna. Allah gives so much blessings to all His creators, whether requested by His creators or not. Countless of Allah's gift has been given to human. Even if emphasized, human will not be able to count the amount of Allah's gift to him. The proofs of Allah Al-Wahhab. Allah gives something to us both when we ask or without asking. Allah gives the creators daily needs. Allah fulfills the needs of His creators indiscriminately. Our attitudes if we believe that Allah Al-Wahhab. First, try to live independently. Second, make best use of and preserve God's gift. Third, helping friends in need without expecting any return. Fourth, get used to the hands above better than the hands below. Fifth, get used to be forgiving of others' mistakes. The next Asma'ul Husna is Ar-Razak. Let's discuss. Ar-Razak is the 17th of Asma'ul Husna. Allah is Ar-Razak, the one who gives the sustenance. Every creator is given rizki so that they can live and worship Allah. There is not a single creator that is not given sustenance, including humans. Our attitudes that we believe if Allah Ar-Razak are multiply thank to Allah for the blessings that have been given. Try to look for rizki that is good. Get used giving to others. Likes to help others. Use sustenance that Allah given for the goodness. Critical thinking. Examine Asma'ul Husna Al-Wahhab and Ar-Razak. Allah is Al-Wahhab, which means the giver who sends His mercy to everyone. By the nature of Ar-Rahman, Allah distributes the sustenance to all mankind. With Ar-Rahim, Allah gave love to servants who faith in Allah. Allah is generous without discrimination. He gives to those what are good and best for us, even we suppose didn't need it. Ar-Razak means the provider of sustenance for all his creatures. One of the greatest sustenance that is often missed from our attention is a healthy body. A healthy body means wealth. With a healthy body, someone can perform many activities easily that maybe can be done by sick body. Al-Wahhab and Ar-Razak are the names of Allah which are related to the nature of Allah, that is love and mercy. Collaborative. Conclude Asma'ul Husna, Al-Wahhab and Ar-Razak. Allah is the one who provides sustenance to all creators, whether humans, jinni, or animals, as well as those mankind who are pious or immoral, believers and non-believers. All of them will definitely get sustenance from Allah. Allah has given a lot of rahmat and sustenance to us, starting from health, both physically and mentally, sustenance in the form of food, perfection as human being, and everything we need in the world. Then what Allah has given to us should be and make good use of it. Communicative. Discuss with other groups and present the result of your answer from the collaborative questions. Creative thinking. How are your ways to become generous people? Be a hard worker so that we have something that can be shared to others. Study more and more so that our knowledge can be useful. There are rights of others in our wealth, so every little bit of wealth we get must be shared with those who need it. Starting from small and simple things, for example, not being stingy with yourself. Avoid the arrogant attitude. Do not remember what was given to others or talking about it. Many are grateful for that we get. Don't stray. Realizing that both material and non-material sustenance are from Allah. That's all our lesson today. Wish you luck and see you next time. Faith to Angels of Allah. Aqidah Akhlaq 3. Human who is obedient to Allah, his position will be more noble than the angels, while human who is broken and bad moral, the position will be more despicable than an animal. Astaghfirullahaladzim. Rasulullah Shallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, Al-imanu an tu'mina billahi wa malaikatihi wa kutubihi wa rusulihi wal yaumil akhir wa tu'mina bil qadari khairihi wa syarrihi. That means faith is that you believe and trust in Allah, to His angels, His books, His messengers, the end of the day, and good, also bad faith. Narrated by Muslim. Angels are supernatural beings created by Allah from nur or light. Because of their supernatural qualities, angels cannot be seen, heard, or touched. They live in different world dimensions that we are witnessing. Belief in angels is the second pillar of Islam. We are ordered to believe in existence, but there is no obligation to know the nature. One of the fundamental questions about angels is, why does Allah Almighty need angels to operate His design? Does His kingdom depend on employees and staff as much as human government, and does He also need an army? The answer of the question is that Allah does not need anything, whether angels, the moon, star, or the sun. He only wants His power to be demonstrated through various media, including through angels as messengers to execute commands from Allah, so His wisdom and knowledge can be developed among humans. If there is no such power of demonstration, there will be no astronomers, physicists, medical experts, or even scientists. There are so many angels that Allah have. These are 10 names of angels which obligate to know who carry out tasks in human life both in this world and the hereafter. Angel Jibril. Angel Jibril is also called Ruhul Amin, who leads the angels in the sky. Jibril angel is given status as a bearer of revelation to the prophet and apostles. Then, this revelation will be taught to human as guidance in life to achieve happiness and ridha of Allah in this world and the hereafter. Angel Mikail. Angel Mikail served as a bearer of sustenance from Allah to all of Allah's creatures, regulating rain, wind, and plants. Therefore, we should not criticize the state of nature, both heat, rain, and cold. We must realize that these are the actions of Angel Mikail and respect him as the recipient of the task from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Angel Israfil. Angel Israfil has the task of blowing the trumpet on the day of resurrection. Angel Israfil will blow the trumpet 3 times. The first blowing will destroy the world and its contents. The second blowing will kill the angels, and the third blowing will raise the dead and gather them in Padang Mahsyar. Angel Israel and Angel Nakir. Angel Israel, after a person dies, he will be in grave or Barzakhril, which connect the world and hereafter. Angel in where humans will meet Munkar and Nakir. Both are given tasks by Allah to ask variety of questions that must be answered by humans. Of peace and radiant means will answer easily all correct one in the end of their life, permitted to have rest until the time of reawakening and secure from torture of grave. Those who kafir and deny to Allah will answer questions incorrectly. Then Munkar and Nakir angels will reveal the worst appearance of them and start doing the painful torture of the grave. Angel Raqib and Angel Atid. All good and bad deeds done by humans on the earth are kept and recorded by God and angels. When people do good deeds, no matter how small, Angel Raqib records it from the right hand. Otherwise, humans do bad deeds, no matter how big or small it. Angel Atid watches over the left hand and records them. Angel Malik. Malik angel are angels that given task by Allah to guard the gates of hell. Among the many angels of Allah, Malik has the most terrible appearance. Having a very large body, his face showing dirt and looking very frightening. The angel Malik is the leader of the angel Zabaniyah, a group of angels who are tasked with torturing the inhabitants of hell. Angel Ridwan. Angel Ridwan has a duty as a gatekeeper of heaven who always smiling and pleases the inhabitants. When the inhabitants of heaven arrive in the firm gate, Angel Ridwan will welcome their arrival with friendliness and warmth. The heavenly guardian angels will pay the best honor to the inhabitants with full of joy and happiness over their purity of various kinds of sins. The nature of angels. Angels are creators of Allah who are different from other creators. The nature of angels, among others, are created by Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala from noon or light. Angels are messengers that receive direct command from Allah. Angels are given power by Allah to incarnate in other creators' form. Then, angels cannot be seen, heard, or touched. Angels have mind, but do not have desire or lust. Angels also do not have any control power. They only do what Allah commands. They do not have the male or female gender as humans do. Angels don't have parent, sibling, or child. Critical thinking. Examine about angel of God. Angels are one of the creators among Allah's creatures. Allah created them to worship to Him. Just as Allah created the genie and humans also to worship Him alone. They are living, intelligent, and speaking beings. Angels live in a different realm from the genie and human realms. They live in a realm that is glorious and holy, which Allah chose that place in the world because of its proximity and to carry out His commands, both kauniyah and syariah ones. Allah Ta'ala created angel from light. This is as contained in the hadith from Ummul Mukminin Aisyah radhiyallahu anha. She said that the Rasulullah said, angels are created from light, narrated by Muslim. There are so many angels, only Allah knows how many there were. Allah Ta'ala said, which means, and no one knows the army of your Lord but Himself. Surah Al-Muddathir, verse 31. Collaborative. Conclude about faith in the angels of God. Faith in angels is one of the foundations of Islam. Believing that angels are creators created by Allah is part of faith. Whoever denies with the existence of angels, then he has disbelief of Islam. Allah Ta'ala said, which means Whoever disbelieves in Allah, His angels, His books, His messengers, and the day after, then actually that person has gone astray as far as possible. Surah An-Nisa, verse 136. However, faith in angels is not just spoken, but needs to be realized through deeds by imitating the angels in worship and obedience to Allah. Angels are protected from all sins. They always worship and ask Him for forgiveness. Angels always record every deed of us so that we should try hard to stay away from everything that is forbidden by Allah. Also be ashamed of the angels who always pay attention to us. Communicative. Discuss with other groups and present the result of your answer from the collaborative questions. Creative. How are your ways to have faith in the angel of Allah? First, believe in your heart that angels are messengers of Allah. Second, always make sure there are angels who record our deeds so that they always do good. Believing in existence of angels, that they are God's creators who always obedient and only do what they are told. Believing in the names of angels mentioned in the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, such as Jibril, Mikail, Israfil, Malik, and others. Believing in the qualities and characters of the angels described in the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet. Emulate the attitudes and behavior of angels. So that's all our lesson today. Akhlaqul Karimah, obedient. Aqidah Akhlaq, 3rd grade. People who have commendable characters will feel calm and comfortable to their life wherever, with whoever. People feel happy with the existence. They will feel the happiness in the world and in the hereafter. In Islam, morals compatible called Akhlaqul Karimah. Rasulullah SAW said, "Innama bu'ithu liutammima makarimal akhlaq." Really, I was sent to be an apostle is none other than the perfect noble character. Rasulullah SAW is an uswatun hasanah. Uswatun hasanah is a good example for us, the only one figure we deserve to idolize because of his excellent moral. Akhlaq is number one. Akhlaq is very important in our lives. Smart people but not moral will be in vain. Now let's read this literacy together. Youth who obey. In the time of Prophet Musa, there was a child who obeyed his mother. One time, his mother told the child to sell their own bull at price of 3 dirhams. God tested the obedience of the young man to his mother. God sent an angel who became a human. He was willing to buy the bull at price of 6 dirham, but the young man did not give it because his mother told him to sell it for 3 dirhams. The young man went to his mother and told her what he was experiencing. Finally, his mother agreed to sell the bull for 6 dirhams, but strangely, the buyer wanted to buy with 12 dirhams. The young man still refuses without having asked for permission from his mother. The mother realized that the buyer was not an ordinary person. Then the angel said, "Hold this bull because the Prophet Musa salam will buy this bull when there is a killing among the children of Israel. If he comes to buy this bull, don't sell it unless it's exchanged for gold that is as heavy as this bull." Obedient to Allah. Obedience means accept and perform all commands of Allah and abandon all that is forbidden by Allah. Humans are the most perfect creatures of Allah. Humans are given the mind to think and explore knowledge, besides being given the lust to have the desire to progress and develop. Humans always want a happy life, both in the world and the hereafter. But the true owner of happiness is Allah. He will give happiness to the creatures He wants. Therefore, we should have an attitude of obedience to Allah in everyday life. Having an obedient attitude towards Allah, besides getting various benefits, will also bring goodness and happiness to the servant. Obedience to Rasulullah is a consequence of faith in him and a consequence of a belief that believes what is brought by him from his Lord. Rasulullah will not comment or forbid anything without the permission of his Lord. In the Quran Surah An-Nisa verse 4 explained, the importance of the attitude of obedience to Allah. First, avoid the anger of Allah, which resulting in doom. Second, not forgetting Allah's favor, which makes us grateful, so that the favors will increase. Third, achieve a happy life in the world and the hereafter as expected by everyone. Accustoming obedience to Allah and Rasulullah. First, hanging out with people who have the nature of obedience to Allah and His Prophet. Second, avoid associating with those who are ungodly to Allah. Third, avoiding immoral behavior which is dreadful by Allah. Carry out all of Allah's commands and never break His prohibitions. Next, pray to Allah that we are given the strength to always obey Him. Start to obey Allah and Rasulullah start now. Multiply dhikr and read salawat every times. Obey to parents and teachers. Birrul walidain means doing good to both parents. The law is fardu ain, obligatory for every Muslim. Even if both parents are non-Muslims, every Muslim is obligated to obey every command from both parents as long as the command does not conflict with the command of Allah. As Rasulullah said, Ridha Allah lies in the pleasure of parents, and Allah's wrath lies in the wrath of the parents. The importance of a child to ask for the blessings of his parents on every activities is because the blessings of Allah Almighty depends on the blessing of parents. People who get pray from their parents will be more easily answered by Allah, so that it is important for children to ask for the pleasure of parents in seeking knowledge, looking for work, and any activities. The virtues of being obeyed to both parents are, including the most noble worship, as a cause for forgiveness of sins, as a cause of entry into heaven, as a cause for Allah's good pleasure, as a cause for the blessings of age. Obey the teachers. Teachers are people who teach us various knowledge and educate us so that we become an understand person. No matter how high a person's position, he is still a student who is beholden to the teacher who has educated him before. Teachers are the heirs of the Prophet, because through the teacher, the revelation or knowledge of the prophets passed on to humanity. The importance of respecting the teacher. The knowledge we gain will be a blessing in our lives. It will be easier to accept the lessons they convey. Knowledge will be of benefit to others. will always be prayed for by teachers, will bring blessings, facilitate business. A teacher is not always above his student. Knowledge is a gift from Allah, and Allah will give His grace to the people He wants. Critical thinking. Examine about obedience. The essence of obedience is an attitude and sincere action in obeying the order of Allah and His Messenger. Allah said in Surah Ali Imran verse 132, that means, and obey Allah and the Messenger, so that you may be given mercy. One thing that often makes us fail to live in obedience in this life is because what we do is always according to the desire of our own heart and mind. Humans were created in this world to worship to Allah. In carrying out human life, one must always be devoted to the Khaliq. Taqwa can also be interpreted as being obedient to carry out all His commands and stay away from all His prohibitions. Armed with God willing, our life will be safe in hereafter. Collaborative. Conclude about obedience. In the eye of Allah, a person will not be seen from how he looks, how much wealth and how strong his power is, but Allah sees the quality of his obedience to Him. The more obedient a person is, the higher his degree in God's eyes. A person's obedience must be built and constructed because the obedience cannot appear by itself because it is very, very closely related to the culture of habits and customs. So, if an increase in the level of obedience is sometimes collided with the existence of legal norms and also positive law in Indonesia. Communicative. Discuss with other groups and present the result of your answer from the collaborative questions. Creative. How are your ways to increase devotion to Allah in worship and muamalah? By starting from ourselves, we should obey all the rules, especially the Sharia law, which we must uphold. After we learn to increase obedience, we try to inform our friends, family, and society. Live in a community that reminds one another to give support to members who make mistakes to be corrected. Influence youth mosque, student organizations, especially the Muslim youth generation. So that's all our lesson today. Wish you luck and see you next time. The story of the Prophet Ismail alaihi salam. Aqidah Akhlaq 3rd grade. The son of the Prophet Ibrahim alaihi salam, Ismail, was appointed a prophet and the 8th apostle by Allah. Ismail is the son of Ibrahim with his wife Siti Hajar. The story of Prophet Ismail is the origin of the pilgrimage and sacrifice. Once upon a time, after the birth of Ismail, Allah commanded Prophet Ibrahim to bring his wife and his son to Mecca. After arriving there, Prophet Ibrahim then left Hajar and Ismail in that place at the command of Allah. While on the way, Siti Hajar ran out of food and drink for them. Little Ismail cried thirsty for breastfeeding. Siti Hajar then ran around looking for water for her son. She ran around between two hills, Safa and Marwah, 7 times. This story became the origin of the pillar of the pilgrimage known as Sa'i, or jogging 7 times between the hills of Safa and Marwah. When Siti Hajar was exhausted, she heard a voice of angel calling her to take Ismail to a place. Arriving at the place, Siti Hajar put Ismail down to then stomped his feet. From the stomping of his feet, clear water emerged, which is known as the Zamzam well. The slaughter of Prophet Ismail. When Prophet Ismail was a teenager, one day, the Prophet Ibrahim dreamed that he would slaughter his son Ismail. That dream was repeated 3 times. Prophet Ibrahim realized that the dream was a guide from Allah. He was very sad. Prophet Ismail was the only son he had at the time. Ibrahim said to Ismail, "Oh my son, verily I saw in a dream that I slaughtered you. Then think about what you think." Then Prophet Ismail without hesitation said to his father, "Oh my father, do what God has commanded you. You will meet me insyaallah as a patient and obedient to the command." Quran Surah As-Saffat, verse 102. So, there are some conditions from Prophet Ismail for his slaughtering. First, Ismail asked to be tied with a rope so that he was not moved too much and his father would not feel sad when he slaughtered. Second, ask that the knife sharpened well so as not to hurt. Then, Prophet Ismail also asked that the clothes he was wearing at the time be given to his beloved mother, Siti Hajar, as a memories. Then, they go to slaughter place which is far from settlement to carry out Allah's command. After arriving, Prophet Ibrahim put Ismail on a black stone plate. The sword used for slaughter was sharpened. Ismail's eyes are closed, and don't forget, Ibrahim prayed for fortitude to Allah. When the sword was swung by the Prophet Ibrahim, the angel pulled Ismail as fast as lightning and replaced him with a sheep. Prophet Ibrahim was stunned, as if it were not real. What he got was not Ismail, but a big, healthy lamb. Apparently, it was a test from Allah. This slaughtering event became the origin of the sacrificial service called Idul Adha that is highly recommended for people who are able to sacrifice. Critical thinking. Examine about the origin of Makkah city, which is still related to the story of the Prophet Ismail alayhi salam. When Ismail was born, Ibrahim took his son with Siti Hajar out of their origin, Palestine. On the order of Allah, Prophet Ibrahim left his child and wife in an uninhabited valley. There was neither water nor people living, which known as the Makkah Valley. The valley now became the holy city Makkah. When Prophet Ibrahim was leaving Ismail and Siti Hajar, he prayed, "Our Lord, I have settled some of my descendants in an uncultivated valley near your sacred house. Our Lord, that they may establish prayer. So make hearts among the people inclined towards them, and provide for them from the fruit that they might be grateful." Quran Surah Ibrahim verse 37. Allah answered the prayer of Prophet Ibrahim by blessing Hajar and Prophet Ismail with a well that never dries up, the well of Zamzam. Slowly, many people came from all over to live and settle in the city of Mecca. Occasionally, Prophet Ibrahim came from Syria to Mecca to visit Prophet Ismail and Siti Hajar. When Ismail was an adult, Allah commanded Prophet Ismail and Prophet Ibrahim to build Kaabah, which would later become a Qiblah for Muslims. Then Allah told Ibrahim and Ismail to invite all of Allah's people to carry out the Hajj worship to the Baitullah. Collaborative. Conclude about wisdom of slaughtering the Prophet Ismail. Ismail is known as a child who is obedient to Allah and devoted to his parents. When Prophet Ibrahim received the order of slaughtering his son Ismail, he showed a noble character, pleased with Allah's will. Prophet Ismail did not judge or question Allah's command to slaughter. Ismail believed that those all always have wisdom and Allah does not want any bad things for his servants. Even when the Prophet Ibrahim was sad when he wanted to slaughter him, seeing that, Ismail said to his father, "Oh my father, apparently you did not have the heart to cut my neck because I saw my face. Try to face me down and carry out your duties without seeing my face." The example of filial piety to parents is an important lesson that can be learned from the story of the Prophet Ismail alayhi salam. Prophet Ismail has taught us that obedience must be attached to the Muslim. From this story, it is also known that obedience to God definitely will be rewarded, like the obedience of the Prophet Ismail to Allah, which is rewarded with being saved. Communicative. Discuss with other groups and present the result of your answer from the collaborative questions. Creative. How do you imitate the character of Prophet Ismail as a child who is very devoted to his parents? Pray for them in every service. If parents comment us something which is easy for us to do, then do not refuse it. Always speak softly when talking and stay away from saying in a high tone, especially in harsh words. Help ease homework. Do not waste your parents' hard work, such as skipping school, squandering money, lazy to study, and so on. Increase interaction with parents. Take the time to talk to parents or ask how they are. So that's all our lesson today. Wish you luck and see you next time. So thank you, that's all our lesson today. So wish you luck.